4 in the morning, but now it's 5:54 a.m. My chat was supposed to be on, and my chat is not on. Why? I don't know. So I think I guess I'm not gonna restart it. My last video, I had my chat on, which I liked. Even though it was super early in the morning, I had my chat on. So if you guys see this video, well, obviously when you see this video, leave a comment, okay? Tell me how you've been. Tell me what you're looking forward to for 2023. I just wanted to get some air. Like, I've been really, man, it's been a lot, you know? I wish I could find somewhere to park, but I think it's quite weird to be up this early. I mean, there's cars on the road, but I normally am not on the road at 5 o'clock in the morning, you know? Only time I've ever been up on the road driving is when I used to work at a coffee shop in my early years in college, and I had to open the store. I haven't, you know, I'm normally not on the road this early, so I woke up at 4. I believe I woke up at 4 o'clock. I woke up at 4 o'clock, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. So I guess I'm just gonna chat on here with y'all and talk about life, talk about, you know, kind of like a segue from yesterday. I had an epiphany. I was talking about how, you know, life is more than paying bills, which was a huge video for me. I mean, you know, me talking about the fact that so many of us, majority of us, including myself, we get caught up in the rat race. We get caught up in just what bill do we got to pay next? You know, what's going to happen next? Everything in the world is so unstable. And amongst all of that, you have to be positive, you know, which is really hard sometimes. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. So I found a video. Man, I wonder if I'm going to get to park. I mean, there's a lot of cars on the road, so maybe I'm not going to be bothered, but I don't know. I mean, I never am out this early on the road, so I don't know where. Maybe I'll park at Walgreens. It's not a bad place to park. Just wanted to get some air. You know, it's been a while since I've been able to just drive around for the heck of it. It's been a while. You know. Life is really something, man. Life is really something. That's all I have to say. My God. When does this end, right? It's so stressful. But anyway, I think over here the connection should be all right. If the connection is laggy and jaggy near Walgreens, then I'll just move somewhere else. But I'm gonna be able to talk about the title. The title is about, you know, your angels, your ancestors, your guides confirming things. And oh, it's green. 1 second, y'all. Oh my God, I just wish I can go on vacation right now. Like, I don't know. Like, my body is like screaming out for a vacation right now. My body's like, let's just go chill somewhere. Let's just stop thinking for 5 seconds. Let's just stop working for 5 seconds. Like, that's kind of like where I'm at right now, you know. I think over here should be fine. I mean, I know there's no security, and You know, any plaza, there's going to be security, but I shouldn't be bothered because I'm just in my car that I pay for. It's my car, right? It's my gas. No one's giving this to me for free, so I think people should be able to park wherever the hell they want to park, right? Let's see if I can pull it off, y'all. I'm gonna try to find a parking spot and just sit here and chit chat with y'all. There is an SUV next to my car. I don't know who this car is it belongs to. Anyway, ooh, let's see if it's looks a bit dark still, but it's all right. It's okay, right? Well, if I have the car off and I have these lights on, it's bright. But if I have the car on and just leave a light like this on, it's not going to be as bright, right? Well, it's on, so it's kind of annoying, but whatever. So I want to get some air, you all. I'm so tired. So tired. So yesterday was a weird day because I woke up and I made a video talking about, well, from my meditation session. I was talking about how life is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is more than just paying bills, you know. To an awakened soul, to a spiritually awakened, evolved being, it's a no-brainer. But sometimes when I give out messages like that, I wonder if majority of people are too afraid to connect with the message because they are stuck, you know. They do have bills. They do have families. We all do. You know, we have responsibilities. And just like the Matrix, you know, there's no getting out of it. You know, there's no getting out of it. No matter how much money you have, no matter how celebrity, royal, politician, public figure, YouTuber, vlogger, teacher, no matter who you are, you know, you are gonna have bills. But the point of that video that I made yesterday morning was to reestablish to reestablish the truth that life is not just about paying bills. And sadly, I feel like yesterday was kind of like my wake-up call. I can't, it's so hard to describe to you all. You know, when I come on here and do these message videos, I try my hardest to explain, but sometimes words fail all of us, you know. Sometimes words are just not enough to explain the magnitude of the download, right? Nature is free. Nature is free. Air, for the time being, is free. You know, for the most part, is free. And there is no price tag on true, pure love. There is no price tag on nature. There is no price tag on well-being. You know, these are all things that just spring up within us or are reflected in our environment that is cultivated and nurtured and taken care of. And so when I got out of that meditation session yesterday, that was really, really intense for me because I had to like almost disassociate with the fact that for the good amount of the whole year, I have been putting all my life force, all my energy into, you know, post being out of college, you know, and for the greater part, you know, doing what people tell you to do, you know, graduate college, get a related job or move up the ranks, you know, now you have a degree, you know, do this, do that. And from when I was a little girl, that object consciousness, that idea to me was never my own. You know, a lot of you don't know because I've never been able to share it, but I've always been the little girl who, you know, designed dresses for my dolls, and, you know, sold lemonade and cookies and painted nails for money. And I was always an entrepreneur. Like, at heart, I was always an entrepreneur. I've never been the person to say, I want to wait for somebody to pay me. I want to wait to have to clock in and clock out. That's never been me and never will be. So living in a paradigm, being surrounded by people who are shoving their idea, their concept of what success and work and life is supposed to be, is nauseating. It's nauseating. And there was a point in the video that I made yesterday morning where I said, if it got to the point where I would live off grid, I would. And I really did not mince words when I said that. Like, if I ever got to a point in my life where I am just so sick of other people's jargon and rules and oppression, I would live off grid. Absolutely. You know, like, you know, I often fantasize about being, you know, in a small lake house by the river, you know, or being up in the mountains, or just being near nature. I mean, even I think as the years go by, it's like the true me it, in this world, in this current reality, is being suppressed. I'm being suppressed for sure. And the only person that can make the changes and fight back and break through is myself, you know. I wouldn't say that I feel alone, because I never feel alone, but I definitely think that sometimes, well, most of the time, I feel like I'm living in a world that doesn't understand me, that is not nurturing what I really want in my heart. And that's hard, you know. That's really hard to every day be in a situation where you feel like your real needs, your real wants are not being taken care of, because you live in a world, you live in a city, you live in a state that is corrupt, you know. And there's no way out. There's no way out. The only real way out is living off the grid, working 100% for yourself, not even half, not even part-time, like working 100,000% for yourself. You call all the shots. That's the only way that us humans, as they call us, are ever gonna be free. That's the only way that I see freedom to the maximum in this paradigm, in this world, in this country, in this city, for most people, is you have to go off the beaten path. You have to be the odd duck out. You have to be the one that goes against what everybody else tells you to do. And that's hard. It's a lot harder than it looks. It's a lot harder than it looks. You know, I can only imagine people that, like all of us, are surrounded by friends and family and neighbors and strangers and acquaintances and all of that. And there's a compared to the whole world, like, if you really think about it, compared to the whole world, there's only a very, very small subsection of people who really call the shots in their life. And when I say call the shots, I mean they call the shots. They go to sleep when they want. They get up when they want. They take a piss when they want. They eat when they want. They travel when they want. You know, they make love when they want. Like, there's a very small amount of people, even YouTubers, okay, that really have full control of their life. And I don't know about you all, but for me, that scares me, because then that means that your life is not your own. If you have to sit up and sit down and, you know, I remember when I was still high school, college days. I remember when I worked jobs. I used to work jobs, not that I wanted, obviously, but most of the jobs that I held, that I kept, that I didn't quit from, high school and college. I remember the days where I had to ask to drink water. I had to ask to go to the bathroom, you know? And I felt so dehumanized. I felt so dehumanized. And whenever I got to that point in a job, I would always leave, because I know it, for me, that's not who I am. That's not the kind of life I want. And like I said, I would rather be dead than live a life like that. You know, I'd rather not be here if my life is not my own, and if what I want I can never get. Like, to me, there'd be no point. There'd be no point, because I'm free. You know, I am free. And so whenever I hate people that drive down and get so close to your car. Like, what is the purpose of that? Did you guys just see that? But I did those jobs. I was in those positions because I had to, you know. And when I got sick and tired of it, I left. And what's so funny is now I'm well in my 20s, you know, and nothing has changed. Nothing about how I feel in my heart, deep in my heart, has changed. Nothing has changed. If I am forced to do something I don't want to do, that I don't believe in, I just will not do it. Nothing has changed. The Matrix has not taken me out of here. And when I say take out of here, like, the Matrix has not contorted my mind. The Matrix has not conditioned me. Like, the Matrix has not won. No matter what happens, like, the Matrix has not won. This world has not overcome me. You know, whatever is in my heart, whatever I believe in, whatever I stand up for, it's not going to change. You know, it's not going to change. And if I don't like something, or I don't like how someone's treating me, I'm not just going to sit there and take it. I'm going to walk off. I'm going to quit. I'm going to leave that relationship. You know, I'm going to cut that cord. Not, I hate that metaphor, but I'm just, you know, I want it to sound extreme. So I'll say cut the cord for the purpose of the video, but I don't really, you know, when you actually do the releasing exercise and meditation, it's not like cutting, but you guys get what I'm trying to say, right? So, and it's just so amazing to me how strong my convictions are, how strong my spirit is, how strong my heart is. It's like, if my heart is not in something, I will just not participate. You know, an easy example is obviously romantic relationships, you know, like that's a no-brainer for me. You know, if I have no interest, if I feel disrespected, I'm out of there. You don't got to tell me twice. You start moving in a way that I don't like, you will never hear from me again. And you could think it's a bluff and a joke all you want, but when you never see my ass again, and you're crying buckets of tears, and you're trying to get in contact with me, and you can't reach me, then you'll see who was playing that game. So that's the kind of person I am. It's like, and I think that especially, and I hate to sound so cliche, but I think especially since I'm a Scorpio sun, I'm a Scorpio, the nature of a Scorpio cannot be persuaded. It's impossible. Like, people really think that these are just stereotypes. Like, it's really not. Like, I have never met a Scorpio. I've never, relative, friend, work, co-worker. You cannot change a Scorpio's mind. And I'm so serious when I say that. When a Scorpio has made up their mind, there is nothing that can change it but God Almighty itself. There's no going back. There's no going back. And it's like every year that passes by, I'm the same person. My looks may change a little bit. I may lose more weight. You know, my features may get more defined because, you know, every year we are getting up in age. But at the core, I am the same person. And that is amazing to me, because I've lived a life where I've known a lot of people, and They're different. Their heart, their soul, their demeanor, their persona is different every year. You know, they're fake basically. But then, you know, it's like the people that inside at their core, who they are, their essence, I'm talking about, never changes. No matter how much money they make, no matter what relationship they're in, no matter if they move to a different state, country, whatever. Some people are just raw and real and authentic and genuine, and some people just don't let life change them. And all that I've been through, all that I've been through, I have not changed within, like, inside. Like, nothing has changed. And so how do you grip with a world that is so fake in every way, and the people that are around you are so fake, and the companies are fake, and the food is fake, and the love is fake, and you're not one of them, you know? Especially when you really have your spiritual awakening the first time, you know, something within you just lights up, something within you illuminates, you know, and you can't backpedal on that. You can't backpedal on the world that you see, the information, the knowledge you have. You can't backpedal out of that. Anybody who's backpedaled out of that and has gone back to, I would even say, like, religion or things like that, they never had a true awakening. You know, they never had a true awakening. They're lying to themselves, because when you really have a true awakening, all of that fades. You realize how fickle, how fake, how manufactured it all is. And you can't coexist with that. Real and fake does not mix. If you are a light being and you're full of love, real love, and if you're in a relationship or you're with people, you're around, or you even work with people who are, all they are is fake love, all they are is fake everything, you will be repelled. If we're being honest, you will be repelled. You will not even be able to stomach them. And not because you're trying to create a divide, but just naturally, you will not be able to speak to them or to want to get to know them. Because why? Because they're fake. And everything in you will say, no, no, this person is not for you. This work environment is, like, if that's really what you're on, that's what you'll experience, you know? And like I said, it's hard. When you're not naturally a fake person, it's hard to see fake people. It's hard to work with fake people. It's hard to stay in fake situations. It's hard to tolerate things that you know you're above. So at that point, you either remove yourself, you play the game, or you create an enemy. That's kind of how it goes. Or the best option is to ignore. Obviously, common sense says, hey, just ignore it. Just ignore it. But you're going to get to a point where it sickens you. It even can weaken you. And you're not going to have a choice. You're going to get to a point where you're going to have to figure something out. I've experienced this many times. So for me, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it became a thing where I was like, wow, you know, I was getting so many downloads, and the clear download I got was, you know, you're being protected. You are being protected. And this is a message for anybody, you know, that needs it. It's like, whether you realize it or not, you know, things that didn't work out, or things that you felt were not coming into fruition, is because it wasn't supposed to. You know, a lot of times we get angry at God, or we get frustrated with the universe, and we feel defeated, you know, but a lot of times it's not even what it seems. What you think it is not what it is, and you have to step back and you have to realize that you're being protected. You're being protected from unseen and seen things that you had no knowledge of. If you are redirected out of a relationship, out of a situation, if you're literally pushed out of it, that's because you were divine intervention took place and you were protected. Full stop. You were protected and you didn't know it, and you got angry and you got upset and you threw a fit and you thought that, why isn't this happening? Why isn't it going my way? And all the while, what you're not realizing is you were never meant to walk through that door. Maybe that door has closed behind you and another door is open to get out of there, and you're stuck in the middle, you're stuck in limbo, and you're questioning and you're pacing, but you're not realizing that you've asked for help. There's those of you out here where you've asked for divine intervention. Maybe you forgot that you did, but you have. You've asked for protection, right? You've asked to be guided towards good people. You've asked to be placed in a good situation. And what we fail to realize is that we were in a bad situation. We were around fake people. We did walk through a door that was only temporary. It wasn't a permanent door. And so what happens down here on planet Earth is I really hope that my live stream was saved. Am I back, y'all? Am I back? I hope the live stream was saved. I just got a random call, so I had to just like get it off my screen. So hopefully the live stream is saved, because everything I just said is super important. So I'm hoping that it saved it. I'm hoping. But what we have to realize is that we've asked for it, either out loud or subconsciously or through prayer or through meditation. Like, we literally have asked to be protected. We've asked to be around good energy. We've asked to be guided towards good things and real love and real happiness. And you know, within our essence, a lot of us have said we don't want certain things. We only want this. And what happens is we forget. We forget why we're here. We forget what life is all about. We forget all these things because the matrix, once again, the charade, you know, the stage, the world stage that we're all accustomed to has blinded us, has confused us. And kind of, you know, joining two thoughts together from yesterday's video and now and this video now is like, a lot of times what you'll find is that, you know, you do have to get in the quiet. You do have to get by yourself. You know, you have to get by yourself, and you have to let, you know, the pressure go, the anxiety go. You have to let go of this world as you know. You have to really give yourself time to breathe. I've never seen a plaza this busy at this early in the morning. I don't know if you guys can tell, there's about like 20 cars here. I don't even know what's going on. But anyway, so I was told that I was right all along. Everything that I felt within my intuition, where I said to myself, no, something's wrong with that. No, I don't feel that. No, no. And at the end of the year, and I was just, you know, I had some soft music in the background. I was just like really trying to, you know, get rid of all like these stressful energies and all this stuff. And I really like got the download, like, no, no, whether you realize it or not, we were protecting you. Like everything that you had a feeling about, like you were right. You were 1,000% right. And 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 when you're in it, when you're experiencing it, it feels like a block. It can feel like a block. It can feel like, why is this not working? You know? And that's the foolish human mind for you. The foolish human mind will say, why is it not working? Why is this happening? But then your so-called spiritual mind will jump in and say, well, it wasn't supposed to. Like, you were in danger. You were in a trap. You were around a snake. You were around a fake person or a fake situation that was not going to benefit you. And you and I both knew that, but you try to make it work and you try to keep pressing the issue until we had to shut it all down. And until we had to take it from you or shut it down or reveal something to you, you were not going to stop. So that's a download that I got for myself, and I'm sure many of you needed to hear that. There is just some things that you don't see. You don't see what they're protecting you from. You don't see the truth. And until you are able to take that blindfold off and take those rose tinted glasses off and get by yourself and really deep breathe, like breathe deeply, like that, and relax yourself and relax your mind, you don't realize that there's a spiritual war going on. You are not realizing what was going on behind the curtain, is what I like to call it. And until you are able to take those glasses off, take that blindfold off, and really look at it, like look at it, did you not, till then, did you not see what was really happening to you? So they told me that every person's intuition, including especially my own, I'm talking about myself, but you know, all of our intuition, they're like, you are always right. You are always right. But doubting yourself and getting angry and making life stress you out is not the way. That is not the path forward. That is not the path forward. It's not. So if you're really in alignment, you know, there should be no overtaking of negative emotion. Okay? You should be wise enough and strong enough to strategize a way out of that, is what they were basically telling me. Is like, when you really see it for what it is and you connect with us and you learn to relax, the truth will be revealed to you. But if you're distracted, if they're distracting you, you can't see what's happening. And so therefore you're gonna say, oh, it's this is happening to me, that's happening to me, why is this you're gonna start to go, like, you know, off the rails. And that's not the answer. That's not it. That's not it. So you've got to be at peace with yourself. You've got to know what you know, what you know. It doesn't matter what someone else says. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It really doesn't matter. You have to know for yourself. You have to know for yourself. And in that knowing and that confidence, it's not always going to be fun to deal with other people and other circumstances and energies and situations and decisions. It's not always going to be fun to deal with, you know, but this is a part of this life experience. So let divine intervention happen. You know, you're struggling with something right now, you're going through a difficult time, you don't understand what's happening in the world, maybe the retrograde energy is hard, it's tough, there's a lot of things going on around you, you know, you're battling something, you feeling depressed, whatever you're going through, you have to get to a point where you realize that this is all a game. Okay. That's the point you have to get to. You have to decide, are you going to let the circumstance, the negative energy, the matrix as we call it, are you going to let it win? Or are you going to be able to stand tall and strong and defeat it? Push back. You know, it's a choice. And they told me that every time you get a gut feeling about something, you are right. You are right. You are right. They told me clear as day, you are right. You're right. You've always been right. So don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt anything that you've ever done. You did it for a reason. You felt that way for a reason. You know, don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself, you know? And it's like all the downloads I've been getting of late are so not only impactful, but so illuminating, because like, wow, you know, this is like the whole year has kind of been like in the dark, you know, a lot of things have been quite confusing in the world, especially, and you're like, what should I do? You know, what should I trust? What should I believe? What should I invest myself in? You know, and they're saying that gut feeling, that knowing is always it. It's always it. But the matrix and the traps and the false people are always going to try to convince you you're wrong. They're never gonna try to convince you you're right. That's the catch. When you know something, they're always going to try to come around and say, nope, you're wrong. Nope, you're wrong. That's how it is. It's a game. So then you have to, like playing chess, you got to move a piece and say, you know, you have to go back to yourself. You have to go back to what you know and say, you know, I can't waver this feeling. I can't waver this thought. I know that I'm right. You know, that's kind of where you have to get to. You have to get to a point where you know what you know what you know. You can't let outside factors and outside people change what you know. You can't. You can't give them that power. That's detrimental. That's dangerous, actually. It's dangerous. So forgiveness has a big role to play. Divine intervention is the second most important with this whole situation. And the first is understanding that you do have to trust yourself. If you're surrounded by a bunch of naysayers, if you're surrounded by if you're in a world that you know is unfair, you have to be confident in yourself. You have to be very confident in yourself in this realm. You can't be in this realm hopscotching from plate to plate. You've got to be solid. And when you're going through warfare, when you're going through spiritual attack for others of you, when you're going through a hard time, you don't see a lot of times what is happening. You're not supposed to. You're being protected. Okay? You are being protected. And then when that situation releases itself, when you are released and you are free from that chain, you will then therefore step back and look at it and say, oh my God, what the hell did I just go through? What the heck has happened? You know, and that's how you know that you're being protected. And to not go back to what hurts you, to not backpedal, to not second guess. You have to be confident. And that's why so many so-called humans are not living the life and are not as happy as they should be, because they doubt everything. They're letting the film over their eyes is so thick with bills and status and pressure from family and this and that. They can't see. It gets to a point, like it really gets to a point where, metaphorically and physically speaking, they cannot see what's happening to them. They cannot see that they've taken the wrong turn in life, because they're being led down a path by negative forces and bad decisions that they were never supposed to be a part of. So there is a part of it where we do have to take accountability. It's not always going to be some outside, we have to take responsibility. We have to realize, okay, that we have the power to stop this. We have the power to feel differently about something. Like I said, we can't wait for anything outside of us to do that for us. We can't wait for that. So, don't let these things control you. Don't let it control you. Things happen to us, things happen to people we love, whatever. Yes, many things in life are unfair. Yeah, it is. But we still have to move forward. Either we give up and we let, the negative forces and enemies, seen and unseen, take us out of here or take us down or ruin our life, or we fight back. There is no other option. There is no other option. And I'm here online live to tell you amazing, beautiful people who've found my channel and are subscribed to my channel and that are connected. I'm here to tell you that's the choices we have. We either let it define us and take us down, or we rise up and we fight back and we open our eyes and stop wearing this blindfold and letting things trick us out of our power. There is no other way. It's a game. A lot of life is like a game. I'm thinking about all the different types of videos I've come on here and made since I've started this channel, and I'm like, the amount of epiphanies, the amount of spiritual downloads I've had have been off the radar. Like, it's so clear when you get alone and you breathe, everything becomes so clear. But when you're just constantly like on the go And there's all these distractions, and there's so many people, like especially people that have a lot of people in their life, or they have big families, or it's chaos. And the only way that you're going to be able to get centered and focused is if you take yourself out of that equation, and you take some time for yourself, and you take a lot of time to ask yourself, what makes you happy? What feels healthy to you? How are you feeling? This is why, I don't know why this kind of, but this is why, especially one of the teachings from Abraham Hicks is what I'm feeling to talk about. And a lot of other, teachers and stuff like that, they always talk about your emotional state. And some people get turned off because they say, what does it have to do with anything? It has everything to do with it. Your emotional state, how level-headed you are, how calm you are, how clear-minded you are, makes all the difference. And all the theatrics that has been unraveled to us in the media and in our communities, in our countries, it's designed to distract. It's designed to lower your vibration. It's designed to make you confused. They're never going to push anything out there for the most part, unless they profit off of it, that's going to raise your vibration. It's the chances are very slim. The chances are very slim. So you have to seek out the good information. You have to seek out like-minded people. You have to seek out the peace that you want to have within yourself. You have to create that. No one's going to give it to you. No one's going to give it to you. It's like if you have a child, for example, and your child is banging on the door, throwing a fit, and you come outside and tell the child, listen, stop it. And you give them a toy or whatever, you soothe them, you pat them on the back, and then you go back in the room. They go to their playroom, whatever, and you make a decision like, that's it. I'm not going to entertain it. I've dealt with the situation. I've soothed you. I've helped you. I'm not going to encourage you to throw a fit. It's a choice. You have to, it's like that. Like, you have to make a choice. Am I going to listen to every banging at the door? Am I going to replay every bad thing that happened to me? Am I going to, you have to, you got to be strong. You got to be so strong to, in that split second, realize what's happening. Realize the game that's being played on us. We have to be that discerning. We have to be that aware. So in times like this, we can't skip meditating. We can't skip quality time with ourselves. We can't skip out on breathing deeply. We can't skip out on those sacred little moments in the day, because that can change the whole trajectory of a whole year, a whole month, a whole day, a whole week, a whole hour. Those little techniques, those little things we can do can shift our energy completely. But if we are not giving ourselves permission to enter into that safe space and to connect with whatever you believe in, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, God, your guardian angels, your higher self, whatever you connect with, if you don't take that time, it's like you've missed out on the whole purpose. It's like you've missed out on peace of mind. And then that's why when we go out in the world, or we go to work or whatever, our stress levels are beyond high. Because why? we're trapped. We're not free in our mind. We're not free in our energy. So then we get suppressed. We get boggled down, and it gets heavy and heavy and heavier and heavier and heavier. And that's the life experience of most people, because they're not aware of it. They're not aware of what's happening to them. It's not their fault, but there's a certain level of awareness that, some people just have and others just don't. And the information that people have makes all the difference. You see what I'm saying? The information that people have makes all the difference. Like, if I never had the information that I have, if I never learned how to meditate, if I never learned how to... One second, there's a loud truck behind me. There's a lot of cars as well, as you guys can hear. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but I can hear it. And, if I never learned how to meditate, if I never learned about discernment, where would I be? If I didn't know what I know, my life would be in shambles. My life would totally be in shambles. So we can't help everybody. It's not our job. Religion tries to do that as well. Like, they have this whole savior complex of, let's tell them and let's go out but you have to understand that it's not for anybody to decide. It's for that person to make their own choice about their own life and what they believe and what they choose to listen to and how they choose to live. That's why doing all of that is disempowering, because you're trying to tell somebody how to feel. You're trying to tell somebody, what to do. And it's actually insulting that person's intelligence. Let that person figure it out for themselves. If they want your help, if they want your information, they'll go looking for it. Every guru, right? Every author, every spiritual teacher, every pastor, every person along my own life journey in this body, in this vessel that I've come across, I've searched for. I've been divinely connected to. Nobody had to say, do this, do that. Like, that's not the point. That's not the point. You have to, it starts with you. You have to seek it out. And when you put that energy out there, it will come back to you. Like, nobody necessarily, introduced me to certain speakers that have helped me and have taught me a lot about life. That didn't happen. I looked for it. I searched for it, and then there was a divine intervention, a divine connectedness. And it just seemed to work out. But it's a journey in a sense where you are in a game against itself. You're the player in that game. You're the one who is orchestrating it, so to speak. That's kind of, it's like a paradox, but in a way, you're the one that's attracting it to you. You're the one who's attracting the like-minded people. I mean, I can speak from experience and say that when around 21, when I, made some, personal decisions, and I knew that what I was raised in, or what I was a part of at the time, just wasn't for me. I knew that from a very, very early age, actually. And as soon as I made that choice And as soon as I was able to be released from the deception, released from the control of what I should do, what I should think, I was instantly along life, everyday life, connected with like-minded people instantly. For an example, when I joined a gym, and I was signing up for a gym membership, and the guy that I was that they walked me over to sign up, I was looking around, just my eyes were just looking at his office. It's like an open concept office, and I looked up at he had a bookshelf, and there I saw the Power of Now, by Eckhart Tolle. It was, and things like that kept, still happen to me, but you'll be guided to the right people. You'll be guided to the right places. Don't worry. And that will happen, when you are in alignment and when you are on the right path. That's what should happen. You know what I'm saying? That's what should happen. So that's just an example. Like, you'll come across like-minded people just for the heck of it. Like, your energy will draw the people in that are meant to be there, whether it's for a day, for a season, or for a lifetime. You'll be sharp enough, you will have enough discernment to know who stays and who goes, who's gonna leave, who's gonna stay. Like, that's a very natural process that does happen, to be frank. So that's just an example. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you are on the right path, you don't have to worry about what you're attracting necessarily, because what is good and right and pure will be attracted to you. It's only when you're playing a role of a person that you're not. It's only when you're being dishonest about what you believe in and what you're worshiping, whatever, that or how you think, where you begin to attract life situations that are not a match. That's the only time that that's going to keep happening, is if you're living a lie, or if you're in a situation that is long overdue, that you should not be a part of. And then there's going to have to be certain steps you take to get out of that, to leave that alone, and to go where you should be, do what you should do. And once again, you have to drown out the voices. You've got to drown out the negative voices, the doubts that come up in your mind. You have to be so discerning, like so discerning of what you're hearing, what you're believing. It's a whole process, but it's not as complicated as it seems. It's actually quite easy if you're in the flow. If you're in a flow state and you're in alignment, all of this I'm explaining to you will feel like a breeze, a cool, soft, warm breeze. It's not going to be painful. It's not going to be like hardened luck on you. It's not going to feel like that. You'll be able to just make a decision. The next inspired action, like, it will feel very natural. It should feel natural. But when you're, up against the current, and it's just negative after negative after negative after negative, you've got to, what I'm learning is, you have to stop, you have to pause, okay, because the momentum is too high in the wrong direction. You've got to stop that negative momentum and pause it, break it up, and then say to yourself, okay, that's not it. Like, we need to switch this up. Meditate, relax, calm yourself down, and then go in the right direction. Go in the direction that take the inspired action that feels right to you. You know, there's a video that's also coming up in my mind from Abraham Hicks that was talking about to never do something you don't want to do. And at first, when I heard that concept, I said, oh, that sounds like extreme. You know what I'm saying? That sounds like, ooh. But it's wise, because when you are doing things that you don't want to do, and you're building up that negativity, you're building up that resistance, you're building up that anger, it's like your whole day's messed up. You know what I'm saying? You have to fine tune some things. You have to realize what's happening to you before it's too late, basically. So that's what I've learned. And you know, the year's coming to a close, and I think that the download that I got for not only myself, but I hope for, you know, excuse me, those of you who are watching, especially live, I hope you realize what's happening here. I hope you're realizing the moment that you've arrived to is a moment of clarity. That's the most important thing, is clarity of thought, clarity of energy. There's no stop, start, stop, start, stop. Like that, you know, you are just in the flow. When you're flowing with life and your energy is right, life, for the most part, should feel easy. You know, it shouldn't feel like it's a battle every day. You know, some seasons are harder than others. You know, some seasons do feel like a battle. You know, I think that, I hate to bring it up, but, you know, the pandemic, the wars, the political scandals, I mean, on the world stage, you know, for all of us to see, that's conflict right there. That's stress right there, right in front of us every day. You know, updates every day, deaths every day. So that's all manufactured to put you to low vibration. It is. It is. You can't breathe that craziness in every day and be at peace. It's impossible, you know. And sometimes for your own good, you have to turn off the TV. You got to delete the social media app. You got to log out of Twitter. You know, sometimes you have to save your, I mean, not even sometimes, all the time. All the time, you got to save yourself. All the time, you got to save yourself and say, how is this helping me? It's not. Is this piece of information making me calm, or is it making me scared as hell? You know, is it making me bug out? Is it making me stressed? You know, it's one thing to learn information. It's one thing to hear a broadcast, but then it's a whole other thing when it's just on replay. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then at that point, you've joined the circus. They've pulled you in the trap. They've sucked you dry. And now you're left scratching your head saying, what happened? What's going on? And you're lost. You're lost. So we're living in a time that is like a circus, in my opinion. We're living in a circus with clowns and tricksters and scary clowns, in fact. You know, and the show is always on. There's always another horror show, you know, coming up with scary music and scary faces. And we live in a time like that where everything is so scary. But once again, we have the power to turn it off. We have the power to walk away. We have the power to decide how much information we listen to. I mean, even when the pandemic first started, I was never the person to watch every single, when Trump was still president, I was never the person to watch every single press conference about COVID. You know, I didn't care. When I heard that it was in China and that it was making its way to Europe and the Western world, I said, okay. Like, that was me. I was a person that was like, okay, it's coming. All right. How do we prepare? But I was definitely not the kind of person that every single time Fauci or Trump was on the TV talking about this thing, that I was going to sit there and watch that garbage. Because what is that going to do for me? You know? Well, what is that going to do for me? So even from then, I made the conscious decision that, okay, I'm not going to let this rule my life. You know? There was tons of people that were dropping out of college. When I was still in college, there was an epidemic of students who, because of the pandemic and because of the stress and because of the overwhelmment, they let it get to them so bad that they were dropping out. And hey, if they had a personal confliction, God bless them. You know, some people just couldn't handle everything, but there was other people that were so played that they let it get to them, you know. And they were strong enough, they were smart enough, they were able-bodied enough to stay in college and finish their degree. But no, they were consuming so much of this that it got to their mind. It polluted their mind, and they became so overwhelmed that they dropped out of college. And if you actually research, I researched, if you actually research the amount of articles, the amount of data of students failing or dropping out, it is very high. And that was a trick. That was absolutely a devil's trap to get people to not finish what they started. You know, I'm not saying it was easy. I didn't say that. I didn't say that it was easy to still be in high school or college during the pandemic. I never said that. What I did say is you have to, you would have had to, as a student, place your energy in the right place. You, as a student, would have had to make a decision. Am I going to live in fear? Am I going to let these people control me? Or am I going to finish what I started? That I paid all this money for, or you didn't pay money for, whatever your situation is. That was a choice. And I'm so happy that I was not so caught up in all of that I let it mess up my mind, because I saw the amount of students that were messed up. They came out of that they're still messed up. They came out of that messed the hell up. They were messed up bad. And that was their job. That was their job, was to mess us up, to mess all of us up. But did you fall for it though? But did you fall for it? So just like that situation is how I'm going to apply it to everything else moving forward. You know, it's a choice. You've got to weed out their tricks. You've got to spot their tricks. You got to spot their games. You got to spot what they're trying to do to you. You have to be 10 steps ahead. Just like how people are changing their social media profiles, and they're spending all their days tracking the war in Ukraine with Putin and Zelensky. It's a choice. You're letting that dictate you. You're letting that control you. You've made a choice and said, okay, I'm gonna let that control me. And now your life is revolving around something that's not even happening in your country, you know. But that's how the mind works. It's a game. It's a game. That's why even when it comes to celebrity stuff, I already told y'all, these people, they're all in bed together, a lot of them. And the reality is, they don't care about you and me. They don't even know us. They don't even know us. So we have to be wiser than what we are. We do. Nothing to do with the vaccine, nothing. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. That's a personal choice. That's my stance on it. It's a personal choice. If you don't want it, nobody cares. If you want it, nobody cares. Nobody should care. It's up to you. But I'm just saying that I'm using that as an example of how so many people have gotten sucked into that, and that's unfortunate. But once again, you have to be 10 steps ahead. And so I could have chosen, like everybody else, to say, oh, the world's closed, da da da. I'm just gonna, drop out of college. Waste all my energy, all the years, all the sacrifice I put into this degree. I'm just gonna give up. I could have been one of those students that would have let things get to me. But I chose to say, you know what? I see what's happening in the world. I see people are scared. I see this, I see that. But I'm not going to let that deter me off of what I got going on. My goal. My goal was to graduate and finish regardless if COVID was around or not. That wasn't even like a thought for me. So do you see how, from those examples I just gave, do you guys see how the mind is such an important factor of our life, the fabric of our lives, the direction our lives go in? The mind is such a vital piece of how this all goes down. So we have to protect our minds. We have to protect our energy. We have to be wiser. We've got to see things from our perspective the way it is and move accordingly. We can't just throw our hands up and say, oh, I give up. We cannot be that kind of person. Or life will just run amok on all of us, really. The times we're living in are so complex, But we just have to be wiser, stronger, and calmer. That's the way out of this. For as long as this charade continues with the economy, with the royal family, with the Western world, with North Korea, with the war in Europe, we have to pick and choose our battles. We can't fight every battle, guys. We can't fight every battle. And that's just what's happening in the world. I'm not even talking about what's happening in your own household. I'm talking, that's just the world that you're living in. But I didn't even talk about what's in your own apartment, your own house, your own relationships. So you see how that can overwhelm you? You see how all that can overwhelm us? Can make us go doolally, loca, crazy. But we have to just narrow in, focus. And we cannot fight every battle, If you believe in God, you believe in angels, you believe in love, you believe in higher power, if you really believe like that, then you're not going to want to fight every battle anyway. You're not going to want to fight every single battle anyway. You're going to be able to do what you can with all the strength you have, with all the energy you have, and give the rest to somebody else, to the universe, to God, whatever you believe in, or just simply poof, let it go, you know. But we have to have that mentality, or you know, it will only get worse. So I'm really happy I made this video. Very happy. I'm very happy that I made this video, and I have learned a lot this year. And I hope that for those of you that have been able to see my live videos, or the videos, other message videos in particular, world message videos, you know, self-care videos I've made this whole year, which I've made a lot more than I thought I was going to make this year. I really hope that, you know, you guys have been able to apply it to your own circumstances, your own goals, because that's of the most of high importance, is that the things that I'm learning, the things that I'm sharing with you all, you can apply to your own life. That is very important to me. So, you know, they're not going to make it easy for us. You know, this world we live in, you know, is never going to make it easy. But we have to make it easy for ourselves. We have to do things and have techniques and build up a certain stamina to the point where we are beyond that. We are on top of that. We are in control. We are not out of control. That is of the utmost importance. We have to be strong enough to be able to overcome these obstacles, overcome the psychological warfare, overcome the spiritual warfare, overcome the spiritual attacks, overcome the confusion, overcome the betrayers, the backstabbers, the cheaters, whatever, whoever, whatever, because this is a life that we are living. You know, life is like a game. So when you're on player one mode, you've got to be focused. You've got to be in tune. You've got to be on top of it, or it's going to overtake you. That's what I've been learning for a while, but I think this year really brought it into clearer view for myself. Is like, you really have to understand the game being played. You know, don't give your energy to everything and everybody. Don't play into the emotional aspect of what they're showing us, or don't always be so easily persuaded, you know. And you know, a little example, we're seeing exactly how that's playing out right now with the whole Meghan and Harry thing. I asked you all on the community tab if you even want me to talk about it, because quite frankly, I don't want to give them any of my any attention, really, because they're frauds. But you know, just like that, you know, people, they know better. You know, people, they know better. And I'm happy that most of the world, most people I've seen talk about the Netflix. I can't believe Netflix stooped that low with Meghan and Harry. But most people, they see it for what it is. You know, it's a show. It's fake. It's a setup. It's to make them look like victims when they're nothing of the sort. You know, nothing of the sort. And people have done their research. You know, there was a picture in the trailer of like 100 paparazzi, and then people did their research and said that's not from when they were being photographed. That was from a Harry Potter premiere. That was from, that had nothing to do with them. That was from a whole different year. So people are, that's what a wise person does. You know, they research. They don't just believe what anybody says. They do their own research. And so I'll just lightly talk about that before I close. Is, you know, That's an example. It's like when something's being played in front of your face, you can't just take it for what it is. You have to research, with everything, a job, a person you want to get in a relationship with, what you're eating, what you're buying, what you're consuming. You got to do your research. It's very important. So to use that as an example, I'm very happy. I'm very happy that people are not just falling for the okie doke just because somebody cries wolf doesn't mean that they're actually crying. You know, hello, hello. So, you gotta discern for yourself. So that's where it's at, y'all. We're at a and there's a was it a new moon or full moon tomorrow? I mean, we're at a point. I hate to use the word in history because that sounds, but you know, we're at a point where we have to, as a humanity, we got to make a choice. We've got to make a choice. Are we gonna let this charade keep carrying on? Are we really gonna keep buying this garbage? Really? Or are we just gonna like realize that, man, this is fake as hell? This is some fake ish. Like, this is not even legit. And we have to just take that in, and realize that, okay, that's not what it really is. And the people that get fooled, they get fooled. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that they know better, and that's a great example because, see, they really thought that they had us. You know what I'm saying? Harry and Meghan, they really thought they were fooling somebody. And then everybody came out with their receipts like, hold up, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake. Like, it's a joke. It's a joke, And they still got their titles, and they're still using it. So they're still a part of the royal family. You know what I'm saying? So what's really going on over there? You see what I'm saying? Like, they should not have their titles if they're going to be trashing and lying like that. But like I said, a lot of them are in bed together. So they all have their own agenda. So I question it. I question a lot about that. But if you guys want me to talk about it, I can. But that's up to you guys. I'm not just going to put energy towards that if y'all don't want me to talk about it. If y'all don't care, because I don't really care, but I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. I'm surprised that Netflix would really stoop that low as a company, but I'm not surprised that Harry and Meghan would literally use videos of Catherine and Diana in their trailer. Like, that don't surprise me at all. You know what I'm saying? They need something to victimize so that they can be a victim as well. No surprise there. So that's just an example though. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening to me. Thank y'all for spending time with me this morning. This beautiful, clear blue, light blue, baby blue sky. The sky actually looks quite pretty today. It's nice and airy. It's nice and clear. And I hope y'all take care of yourselves. All right. Bye.